Alright, new Vistalite kit, or at least new to me. So I picked this up from a friend just a few weeks ago, and I know I'm going to have to do a fair amount of work on it, and I just thought I'd make a video going over this process here. When I picked it up, it was mostly looking like it needed a lot of cleaning, but upon taking one of the drums apart, it's going to need a little bit of repairs as well. I think first step what I'm going to do is disassemble all the way down, fix a couple of the cracks in it, and then polish it. The products I'm using are Novus plastic polish for the acrylic cement to fix the cracks, some lubricant on the hardware. I'm going to use some fine steel wool I don't have here to clean up the chrome. Orbital buffer just because I'm lazy and I just can't stand having to do that kind of stuff because it just destroys my wrists. A drum key drill bit helps speed up the process. The bass drum. I don't know if these are original hoops. I thought these always had wood hoops on them. I'm going to take these off. I'm not crazy about metal hoops, plus they're just in terrible condition. What I'm going to do is take the hoops off of this black kit and probably just spray them black all the way and put them on here. So you need some polishing. Flip it over here. This kind of bummed me out. It looks like someday this thing was cracked all the way through, and it looks like someone did a really good job of fixing it with these 4 huge rivet jobs here. If this crack is glued well, I actually am going to kind of roll the dice on it and not worry about doing anything myself. But it looks like they did a pretty sturdy job, so hopefully that's not a huge problem. But yeah, when I got it and I found that, I was like, oh man, it's busted. But like, I'm kind of okay with it, because now if I break this drum set someday, I'm not gonna feel bad that I ruined a collector's item type thing because it's already wrecked. I want something that I can gig with that looks cool on stage, and then I don't have to worry about the wood, warping in my garage or something like that. These spurs I am not crazy about at all. I don't want to drill the acrylic, but unless I could think of something, I just feel like even when put in all the way, that's just going to destroy my case, or it's going to get snagged on my pant leg, or maybe just my leg, period. Like that just, I'm not into that. So I might change out the spurs. I don't know yet. I guess we'll see. Other than that, the bass drum's pretty cool. I have played this kit before in a previous video I posted actually a couple years ago, maybe. And even with all these crappy heads on it and stuff, it still sounded pretty good. So hopefully after all this, it can get in good shape. What I'm going to do is take the heads off of this maroon Gretsch here and put it on this blue one because it's all the same sizes. I didn't want to get all new heads. I'll do that someday, but these ones are in good shape anyway. So. The rack tom's in pretty good shape. Looks like someone cleaned this somewhat recently. It doesn't appear to have any cracks in it. I'll find out when I actually take it apart. It looks like it just needs to be buffed, and same with the hardware, but it looks like everything's functional. This I'm definitely going to replace. Yeah, I'm not going to bring a wrench to a gig. And what's kind of silly actually is on the floor tom, that's the exact same bracket, and they have a wing nut on that one. But on this one, they use a nut. And I've even played house kits before where they have like a little wrench on a string like attached to it, and I think I could do something like that. If I can't find a wing nut that matches that, what actually fits perfectly is these pearl brackets. They go right in the same hole spacing, and then you get to use that instead. And then a tom mount fits right in where that floor tom would go. So I might just put one of these on instead. The 13-inch tom, not good. So this one I've already taken apart once, just because I wanted to practice using the plastic polish, and it actually looked really good. I'm not worried about it being 100%, but this one has a giant crack all the way down, and it's kind of half repaired here with a lug, and the crack, oddly enough, goes right until the edge, and this part is not cracked, and I'm anticipating cracking that anyway on accident while I'm trying to fix it. But this is the one I'm going to have to use the cement for. I won't be bummed out if this never gets back to like original shape, because I don't really like 13-inch rack toms. Snare drum looking good. It actually sounds nice too. This one I think just needs cleaning. Doesn't appear to be any cracks in it or anything. I'm going to put on these snare wires. Yeah, everything's cool. This kind of stuff is annoying. Like, I don't know how that gets snagged on something, or do people just pick at these over time? Maybe I can glue that down. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. Floor tom looks pretty good. I hope there's no cracks along that seam. I guess we'll find out when I take it apart. Yeah, this is really scuffed up, but the plastic polish will take care of that. There's some huge scuffs on the inside of this as well, so I'm guessing at some point someone played this kit with no bottom heads and just maybe stacked them inside of each other. But I don't know, I think this one should be fine. I'm not going to use these legs. I like the pearl legs better, the ones with that little squishy bounce part that makes the floor tom a little more resonant. Yeah, overall this one's fine. The only thing here is this crap again. Like, this one is completely pulled up. So I don't know. I might have to just take this one off. I'll figure that out down the road. So yeah, put clear heads on everything off of this kit. The bass drum, I've got a new clear head. I'm gonna put a kick port on there, and I'm gonna put a Ludwig logo. It's not the correct decade logo, but I don't care. I think this one looks cooler anyway. So yeah, step one, disassemble. Here we go. Alright, I found one crack. In the 12-inch tom, looks pretty good otherwise, but in between the holes for the tom bracket, they look like they're connected now. So I'm not sure what to do about this one. I probably will just leave it. Like, you can't even feel it. So yeah, that's actually not too bad. Yeah, definitely needs a buffing, but I'm not gonna worry about that for now. If it cracks down the road, then I'll fix it. Anyway, on to the other. Alright, quick stopping point here. This drum has been dropped hard right here. So hopefully that doesn't mean a crack in the shell, but I guess we'll find out. This rim's in pretty rough shape. It's rusty, but I think the steel wool can get most of that, so I might use it. If it's bent out around, I can bend it back, but yeah, this drum set has been through a lot. Alright, so this 16-inch is rough with a capital R. It's like scuffs everywhere. I'll show you. I mean, this is yeah, it's just really dirty. There's a couple cracks on the holes here, but I think a lot of it is cosmetic. So I think like after the end of this, it's a lot of work, but yeah, I think it'll be nice looking. Hopefully, it'll sound nice. But yeah, this is already turning out to be pretty tedious. As far as how much work I'm going to put in on this, I only want to do this once, so I'm going to do a good job, but I'm not going to shoot for the stars because I don't know. It's got enough damage already on it, and I don't think it needs that. Plus, if I put too much work into it, then it's going to feel all sentimental, and I won't ever want to take it anywhere. So I'll do enough where it's good, but I don't want to go nuts on this thing. So anyway. Check out these rims. Anyway, I'm not going to use those. Here's something weird. The lugs, the tension rods are, they have two pieces to them. So, focus here. The top parts come off, so I can't take that off with a drum key or anything. If you look at the original ones, this wing nut part of it actually pops off the top. So 3 of them are stuck on here, and I'm gonna probably just have to get a new tension rod, so I guess that's fine. If I thought the floor tom was bad, the bass drum is worse. Definitely cosmetically, but also this giant crack. So these are holding, but the crack itself is free. So I'm gonna try the acrylic cement on it, and the crack was not fixed, so it's flush. So I'm gonna attempt to file that off a little bit right there. Just so it doesn't wreck any heads I put on it, but I don't know, I guess it's not a huge deal. Of all the drums on the kit, the bass drum is probably the one you're least concerned about the tone, and plus they're plastic shells anyway, so yeah, as long as that doesn't rattle, I think it'll be fine, but I'm gonna put the plastic cement in there to try to hold it together to prevent that. I'm going to just leave this out. I don't use those tom mounts. It actually had some pretty cool little Ludwig hardware things. I can use those actually on another project. So yeah, it's got this big giant crack, and it's really scuffed up and dirty. And yeah, you can tell here someone stored other drums inside of this one at one point, so I'm gonna have to really go nuts with the buffer on it. But that's all the drums. Yeah, a lot of work yet to do, but yeah, next up is the gluing, and then after that we'll buff. Here we go. Yeah, this stuff is definitely liquid. And appears to be going in there pretty well. I just got some excess. Yeah, this might be a couple steps. It says on it, dries pretty well within the first few minutes, but then it takes up to 2 days to get to 80% of its hardness. So what I'm going to do is actually just stop here, seal it up with my electrical tape, and come back at this. I'm going to pull it tight so it actually holds it. Oh, come on, really? Alright, now for the other side. And I'm guessing some of this is going to get caught in that tape. But this is the 13, and I'm not too worried about it because I'm not going to really use it. But I imagine if it gets really rough, I can get it with a buffer pretty good. But yeah, so I think that's that. I'm going to let that sit now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. Alright, here's the fun part. I think this one's the questionable crack. Again, if it doesn't rattle too much, which it doesn't appear to, I'm not going to worry about it because these are obviously going to hold, but I'm going to take a stab at putting some glue in this one too. Back at it. Good. Yes, this is going right into the cracks. Nice. Is that leak again? It's really annoying. Alright, cool. I'm going to call that good enough. Check this out in a few days. Alright, I'm starting with number 3, and I'm just going to put a little dab on each segment, and then just kind of spin it around here. Not putting the goo on the pad first, because I think that's just going to make it fly everywhere. Oop, some squared out there. Alright. And then I'm just going to hit the inside and the outside of all these. And I'll probably do the heavy scratch over first on the whole thing, and then the medium on the next, and then finish it with the polish at the end. So here we go. Alright, the heavy buffing is done. They all look kind of foggy right now. But the nice thing is you can remove it. So it's just kind of like a waxy haze right now. I'm going to buff this off, and then I'm going to go on to step 2. Alright, so I pretty much found that this the level 3, the heavy scratch remover, I let it get caked on there too hard, and to buff it off by hand is really difficult, and I don't want to sit and do that. What I found works though is if I just take the number 2, the fine scratch remover, it buffs away the level 3 scratch remover, and I just did it to the bass drum, and it looks good. So I'm just going to roll with that and finish them off here real quick. Alright, polishing done. That was tedious. The snare and the rack tom look really good. They're almost perfect. Well, maybe not the tom, but I mean, I'm really impressed with it. And I'm probably going to spot clean these for a long time as I play them. But I'm glad this one looks the best, because this is the one you can see in front from the side. The snare drum, yeah, the snare drum's cool. These ones, they obviously, because they're the smallest, they weren't the ones that were stacked inside of one another. Unlike the poor floor tom, this one's still got some pretty hefty marks around it, and actually there's a couple paint marks here. This must have just sat in someone's garage or something, but still way better than it used to be. So yeah, I'm just going to put on the last coat of polish, and I'm not going to do a video of that because you've seen enough of what that looks like. And then I'm on to hardware, and then can just about put it back together. Alright, buffing chrome hardware. This is any hardware, your rims, your lugs, your cymbal stands, basically all this crud that accumulates. You can pretty much wipe it off with extra fine steel wool. So it's got the 4 zeros on it. I believe it's 4/0 that's called. And all you do is take it, and I'll take this segment here. Give it a pretty good buff. And then it's about back to normal. And it's not a bad idea to do this every once in a while on all of your hardware, because if you let that sit for a while, eventually it becomes rust, and to an extent these little dots of rust, you can wipe those off too, but if it gets to be too deep, then it's through the chrome plating and it's stuck like that. But it's actually pretty impressive how much you can get done with this. So now to quick do the rims. check this out. Your rims on your drums should be in round. Of course your shells should be too, that's a whole different issue, but you can check your rim, just put your tape measure on, and then you can get a grasp of where you're at. Now unfortunately this drum, a little bit past 14, I'll take this lug, and this thing is way out of round, as you can see. So what we got to do is just stand it up and pull like this, and then until you fix it. And so I'm going to do that and hopefully fix this rim. Those two are fine. Those one I don't know about yet. But this is a good thing to do to your rims anytime you take the head off. Just check it out. Because if not, the rim, when you're tightening it, can fall off the collar of the head. You notice that on cheap drums usually, but it can happen to pretty much anything except die-cast hoops. But these triple flanges aren't super stiff, which I like that about them for tuning, but they can go out around like this, so you just kind of gotta fix that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Alright, that's a wrap for tonight. I think I'm done. Tomorrow I'm just going to put it all together. The lugs actually don't need very much polishing. I'll kind of do those as I need. But everything is in shape, ready to go. Alright, home stretch. I think it's downhill from here. I am putting these back together and using the heads from, this is my Gretsch Catalina kit that I put new heads on it about a year ago, and it's still in good shape, top and bottom, so I'm just going to transfer them over. I'm not crazy about this kit anymore. It's nice, but it's not my thing anymore, so here we go. One thing I like to do to every kit I have is silicone lubricant on every tension rod, as well as nylon washers, which I'm going to add on here. These make tuning much smoother, and like I was saying before, you can feel the tension on the tension rod, which helps a lot, knowing how tight or loose. Like the pitch matters around each spot to an extent, but for me, I like the feel a little better. If I don't have nylon washers on a drum, I find it really hard to know where I am as far as like the limit of the tension of a head. So I would definitely recommend putting these little things on every tension rod if you can. One down. It's looking good. I think this will be a cool deal. All right. The next. I decided to not use the original bottom hoop, and I might trade out this one too, because these hoops are all rusted out. They look terrible on an already rough looking drum. I gotta fix this badge too. So other than that, everything works, everything's good. Bass drum's up next. That will be that'll be interesting. Alright, bass drum front head time. I've got a clear head, new one. I kind of went back and forth on using a clear or a hazy one, but I was like, well, it's a Vistalite, I gotta go clear. Got my Ludwig decal. It's the wrong era, but I like this logo better. Kick port's gonna go on there. I like these a lot. These do actually help the sound a little bit. It's not dramatic, but a little bit, and so a plus is a plus to me. Also, this protects your bass drum head from getting wrecked by a microphone when it rattles around. I've busted a couple of front heads that way, and then, you know, it's not the sound guy's fault. It's just, it starts resting against that little lip there, then it causes a tear, then midway through the show your drum head's ripped open and flapping. It's, you know, $40 down the drain. So this kind of pays for itself, so would definitely recommend. Logo's on. I'm not crazy about how it's centered, but I think it's alright. There are a few bubbles in there I tried to get out, but those seem like they're stuck in there. So I mean, if it peels off, I'll redo it. The decal didn't cost too much, but there's a couple under there you can see in the glare, but it's alright. Does the job. I'm happy with it. Also got a cameo by one of the coolest books of all time. Yeah, quick plug. If you haven't checked these out, please hit the Amazon link. Give these a try. If you already own one, you would do me a huge favor by hopping on Amazon and leaving a nice review. That makes a big difference in sales. Yeah, anyone who's helped out, thanks a ton. Onto the kick port. Alright, kick ports are a little bit weirder. First you gotta attach this adhesive ring, decide where you want it. I like to put it close to the edge as possible without interfering with a hoop or getting around this collar too far. I think the closer you get to the center, the more dead your drum is going to sound, and I like the bass drum to be kind of a long note. Get this on first and cut it out with a razor. If I were to go without a kick port, what I would actually do is put two of these on, one on either side, and then cut in the middle of this, and then have the two rings kind of sandwiched so that in case, like I was talking before about a microphone accidentally rubbing against it, it has to cut through one of these before it actually makes contact with the drum head and rips that. With the kick port, you only need one of them. And then peel off the collar of the kick port, and then pop it on there, and you're good to go. Alright, kick drum time, we're getting there. I got the drum head ready. I got those hoops painted in black today. They're not great hoops, but they'll be fine for now. I'll just keep an eye out for real Ludwig ones someday. But they're black and they're wood. That's what, pretty close. Earlier I was talking about these spurs, how they're kind of death traps. And that night I went and looked online and found that they actually Ludwig makes updated ones with a little nicer build to them, and also have rubber feet instead of spikes. So I grabbed those right away. And they fit, which I'm really happy about. So I don't have to do any drilling. I can just have nice modern spurs. I think these are some of the most important parts of a drum set, because if your kick drum is sliding away from you all night, it's not going to be any fun. So I'm really happy about this. So, all right. a pretty cool trick I got from the Chad Smith instructional DVD, the one from, I don't know, long ago. Take some adhesive Velcro and put one end of it on this part of your bass drum right here, and then take a drum key and put the other part of the Velcro around the handle, and the drum key is always where you need it. That thing will never come off when you're taking it in and out of your case. I do this to all my drums. It's super convenient, and I definitely suggest that. Alright, day 4, last part, the snare shell. I'm not going to worry about the 13-inch shell too much because I'm not going to play it hardly ever, and it's got a big crack in it, so I'll fix that some other time. If it doesn't work out, then it's a cool looking stick bucket or something. The snare drum's awesome though. This looks like it was hardly ever played. I'm not sure why, because I'd expect this normally to be the most beat up part of it, but it looks cool. So we've got new heads, newish heads, all the parts. I'm going to put a clear head on this actually just because it's a Vistalite, so why not? And yeah, this shouldn't take too long, so here we go. Alright, I got them all set up, ready to rock. I've spent a couple days playing them, getting the hang of them, the tuning and all that, and so far it's pretty good, so I'm really looking forward to hearing what they sound like under the mics. So now for the fun part.